Each of the 5 D-Day beaches was assaulted by a division of around 16,000 troops in 3 brigades, including an armoured brigade. Sword Beach was defended by 29 companies of the 716th German Infantry Division, armed with 90 large artillery pieces, 50 mortars and 500 machine guns. On D-Day, the enemy gun batteries at Le Havre posed a serious threat to the invasion fleet. To hide the fleet from them, the RAF laid a smokescreen. At 05:30 hours, enemy E-boats, fast torpedo boats, took advantage of the smoke to suddenly appear. They fired their torpedoes into the crowded anchorage before making a hasty retreat. The torpedoes narrowly missed the battleships HMS Warspite and HMS Ramillies. HMS Largs only escaped by performing an emergency reverse. The torpedoes hurtled through the fleet, hitting the Royal Norwegian Navy destroyer HNOMS Svenna. In a terrible explosion, she broke her back and sank rapidly with the loss of 43 of her crew. The Merville battery, of extreme danger to the fleet, remained silent. HMS Arethurs's responsibility was to knock it out, but could not fire in case the airborne troops were in possession of it. The fleet frequently came under fire from mobile artillery from the woods south of Merville, Frankville, which would move before return of fire. The bombardment by the Royal Navy on enemy positions was accurate and effective. The 6th Airborne Division could not have held the bridges without the support of naval gunfire. HMS Warspite was straddled by the Montcanissy battery at Benneville, but by 09:30 hours this too fell silent. A significant problem to the fleet were the 24-centimetre railway guns east of Orny. They would fire several shells at the fleet and quickly shelter in a railway tunnel before the Navy could retaliate. 05:30 hours. The landing craft were lowered into 5-foot waves. They pitched and plunged in the choppy sea. There was hardly a man who wasn't seasick. The DD amphibious tanks of the 13th and 18th Hussars were launched at 5,000 yards in heavy seas. Incredibly, only 6 sank, 2 of which were in collision with landing craft. 06:50 hours. The 3rd Infantry Division's self-propelled guns opened fire on the enemy from their landing craft as they approached the beach. Throughout the initial assault, the destroyers and minesweepers gave invaluable support, firing on enemy positions. On the run-in, a motor launch escorting the landing craft played "Roll Out the Barrel" through its loud hailer. When the first of the landing craft touched down, the South Lancashires and East Yorkshires stormed out to find the DD tanks had arrived ahead of them and were busily destroying enemy strongpoints. The enemy beach defences were not suitable targets for the guns of the large ships. However, they did have a demoralising effect on the enemy, keeping their heads down for much of the initial assault. The 3rd British Infantry landed on the beaches designated Queen and Roger. Exits off the beach through the minefields were quickly cleared by flour tanks. The 2nd East Yorkshires, under mortar attack, quickly moved inland and pushed towards the River Orne. 07:30 hours. 6 LCIs carrying the 48th Royal Marine Commandos were within 100 yards of the beach when the enemy opened up on them. The LCI carrying No. 2 troop was hit amidships by a mortar, but struggled to the shore in a broken, bloody mess. 150 yards from the shore, 2 of the landing craft hit underwater obstacles. Unable to break free, they were stranded and under enemy fire. Some of the commandos tried to swim to the beach. Many were caught in the strong undertow and drowned. Disregarding their own safety, other craft come to the rescue of the stranded men. The beach was cluttered with destroyed vehicles, men from various units, the wounded and the dead. It was still under enemy machine gun and mortar fire. As the tide came in, the beach narrowed and became even more clogged. Brigadier Simon Fraser, Lord Lovat, a veteran of the Dieppe raid, led the commandos of the 1st Special Service Brigade off the landing craft with a bagpiper playing Highland Laddie. As he did so, the man directly behind was shot in the face and killed. Moving quickly off the beach, they pushed inland to relieve the 6th Airborne at Pegasus Bridge. The men, desperately holding on to the bridge, were relieved to hear the sound of bagpipes. 07:55 hours, the 4th Commando with French troops landed near Ouistreham to capture the heavily fortified casino. As they stormed ashore, the sand seemed to boil with bullets and mortar explosions. The 8th Brigade attacked the enemy strong points of Hillman, the German heavily defended battalion HQ, and Morris, the artillery emplacements. The dispirited defenders surrendered at Morris after an hour, but Hillman proved more difficult. The strength of Hillman had been gravely underestimated. Machine gun posts, anti-tank guns and pillboxes with connecting trenches were spread over a wide area. Although lacking sufficient support and heavy bunker-destroying equipment, the Suffolks eventually overrun Hillman at 1500 hours. 13:45 hours. Having first dropped warning leaflets, the RAF bombed Caen. Caen was massively destroyed, with 800 citizens being killed. The 21st Panzer Division was dispersed around Caen, but it was discovered later that there were never more than 300 Germans in the city. In Caen, the Gestapo went to the prison Maison Direct. They dragged 86 members of the resistance out of their cells and shot them. Hermann von Oppen-Bronichowski, with 60 Mark IV Panzers, counter-attacked along the poorly defended gap between Sword and Juno beaches. The Staffordshire Yeomanry had foreseen such an attack and had brought forward Firefly Sherman tanks armed with 17-pound guns. With their greater punch and range, the Fireflies knocked out 13 Panzers in quick succession, and the 21st Panzer Division withdrew rapidly. Sword Beach's proximity to Le Havre proved a continuing threat from attack by sea, which included Schnellbots, one-man submarines and exploding speedboats. Although risky for the men in the Allied fleet, it was even worse for the wretched German sailors who manned these craft. Their chance of survival was low. HMS Orestes, an Algerian-class minesweeper, destroyed 4 one-man human torpedoes in quick succession. They picked up one survivor, a 16-year-old boy. Further north, at the tiny port of Villars, 93 human torpedoes set off for the Allied D-Day anchorage. Only 18 returned. The objective for the British on day 1 was to capture Caen. The King's Shropshire Light Infantry came within 2 miles of Caen, but had to withdraw due to lack of armoured support. It would be over 4 weeks before Caen was taken. At Caen, the Panzers, battle-hardened and highly experienced, time and time again threw themselves furiously at the Allies. The British and Canadian armoured divisions, with heavy losses, held firm, attacked and overwhelmed the Panzers. The battle for Caen wouldn't be the last battle in Normandy, but it would be the beginning of the liberation of Europe. Thank you for watching. Please hit the subscribe button to see the rest of our World War II videos.